I have done Sangam House in Bangalore, India, 12 Arts residency in Cleveland, Studios of Key West. The fact that this happened to me at so many residencies just means that that time and space was really fruitful for me to really dive into the work that I was doing. Hello YouTube! We're here to talk about the benefits of artist residencies. Hello! I've been noticing on this channel that a lot of my talks about artist residencies and also on TikTok, people really find it beneficial. I was even talking to my friend recently who encouraged me to apply to artist residencies, and I've done over 6. And I was thanking him again and saying, like, if not for you, I wouldn't have known about these things. And even recently, I encouraged a friend to apply to the first artist residency I ever did at Sangam House in Bangalore, India, and she got in, and she's literally going within the next week. But I wanted to take some time in this video to talk about the different benefits of artist residencies, because I think a lot of people don't really know what they are, and then when they think about them, they're like, oh, I have to take time off of work, and it's like really gonna take a lot out of me. But I also view artist residencies as kind of the convergence of the benefits of slow travel and then also the benefits of really defending your time as an artist, because I think under capitalism especially, we have so many things that we have to do for survival, to establish stability, to get closer to a certain kind of life, that we don't really take the time to slow down and invest in our hobbies and passions. And artist residencies are really an interesting and beautiful necessary practice in this. And in some ways they are a privilege, because not everyone has the time to apply, the funds to apply, the time to leave and go to them. And I think it is a very particular kind of thing to engage with, but I encourage people that don't think that these spaces are for them, that anyone deserves to have this space, and you also deserve to have it too. What is an artist residency? An artist residency is typically a program or an organization that hosts artists for a particular period of time, where they offer you lodging, food. Some artist residencies give you some kind of travel or honorarium stipend. Some of them have cultural or arts programming that you participate in or get to witness. But typically it is a few weeks to a month or more where you have time and space to write. I've done residencies where they've set you up in a cabin in the woods. I've also done residencies in a major city where you live in a house with other people. I've done residencies where you're completely alone in a suite and you have your own kitchenette. I've done residencies where they offer you food, others where you have to pay for your own food. You apply with an artist bio, an artist statement, a work sample, and a sort of research or work plan. Based on those different applications and what the residency is, they accept you. They typically let you pick a time period that you want to go, and you travel there. You get to stay somewhere. If there's food, you get fed. You get to meet other artists typically. And it's a really great way to get more established as an artist, but to also be given the time and space to develop and dive into your artwork more. For me as a freelancer, I have ample time to kind of pick my own schedule, but even with the different things that I'm juggling, I still have to defend and find time to make my artwork. And I find residencies so beneficial. And I've done over 6. I have actionable tips that I can give people that might help you get into artist residencies, because I'm helping friends get into them. I have done Sangam House in Bangalore, India. I've done 12 Arts residency in Cleveland. I did Studios of Key West in Florida. I have a vlog up about that, watch that. I also did Norton Island residency. I have a vlog about that. That was outside of Maine. La Maison Baldwin, which is a residency I did in south of France last year. I did a whole vlog series about that. And all of these residencies have given me different things. Some of them have helped me finish books. Some of them have helped me meet people that later led to other opportunities or things that I'm currently doing right now. One of them helped me meet a writer that she ended up having the same agent that I now work with. And so you never know where it's gonna lead, but that's why we're gonna go into some of these benefits. So the first benefit is time and space to write. This is something that the Artist Way talks about a lot, and a lot of artists kind of extrapolate, which is this notion of the resistance. It's when you sit down to write and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to do laundry, I need to do this, or okay. And artist residencies are typically time where, for me, one of the biggest kind of things that I love about the more organized and structured artist residencies is when you have ample food and you have uninterrupted time and you don't have to work your day job. It really does open up the mind to totally devote your days to art. Like when you aren't expected to socialize with people or live your daily life, it really opens the floodgates. And I remember doing my first residency at Sangam House, and this kind of feeling that I sometimes have when I'm drafting the first draft of a book is when I am going to bed and I can't really sleep, and I'm like, oh, why can't I really sleep? Like, this feels really weird. And I was so intensely into my book that my creative brain was waking me up at night, giving me ideas. And I feel like the fact that this happened to me at so many residencies just means that that time and space was really fruitful for me to really dive into the work that I was doing and to feel like I had time and space to really work on as much as I wanted to. And at my first residency, Sangham House, I wrote close to 30 to 40,000 words of my book alongside other things that I was working on. And so the time and space really does just give you breathing room to really be like, what is my project about? What am I trying to do? The time and space in community with other artists especially is the second benefit. I'm definitely also a person where I like to verbalize and talk about the artist process. I like to listen to other people. I like to ask questions. I like to ask questions about the distinctions and the kind of art that we make. My favorite residencies, hands down, have been the ones where we eat food together and we talk and people are chatting and being social, and it's not so introverted and insular. When I did my artist residency in Norton Island, they would have us have dinner together every night, and one writer every night would share some kind of reading. And that was a great way for us to socialize. When I did Atlantic Center for the Arts, we ate meals together. And I think mealtime is especially really important for artists because it forces you to stop, to take a break, and to really reflect and unpack what has been happening. And the time with other artists is important because you might be having a problem with something that you're working on in the morning, and then you stop and take a lunch break and you sit with another artist and talk, and they're like, oh, that problem seems like something that's related to something I've been thinking about. Have you thought about X, Y, and Z? And there have been so many times in artist residencies where I reach a roadblock or I'm stuck on something or I just have a question, and something that someone else says jogs something in me that is extremely beneficial. Like at Sangham House, I discovered a new poet that I loved, and some of his work ended up in my memoir. When I did residency in Florida, I met an artist while I was looking for a new literary agent, and they suggested that I reach out to their literary agent, and that person is who I'm currently working with. And so you also never know what kind of opportunities it might bring. Someone I met in another artist residency ended up being a professor at a college that I now teach at. Meeting people and connecting with them, it's so special. I have people all over the world that I can visit and talk to. So time with other artists, community, it's so beautiful. Why wouldn't you want that? Why not? The chance to feel like an artist, the chance to kind of live out that kind of picturesque, romanticized version of waking up, drinking your coffee, sitting at your writing desk, arguing about poetry late into the evening, sipping whiskey, sipping your non-alcoholic beverage. So much of the work that we do can be so insular, especially being a writer. You feel isolated. You don't really know how your work is going to affect people. And the chance to be validated, to feel like you're moving in the right direction. I think so much of our daily lives and capitalism robs us of this feeling, and doing artist residencies kind of gives it back. Art making to me is so spiritual. To be given space and to hold space for that is so amazing, so needed. And I think validation, especially for artists of color, is so necessary. So seek out artist residencies that are particular for people of color or are more social justice oriented, ones that will kind of respect you in that time and space. Big last tip is being inspired. And I think this is a combination of things. I think you can be inspired through artist residencies, the mere fact of being accepted, through the opportunity to slow travel. I loved being able to spend a month in some of these places, being in India, being in Maine, being in France. The fact that I got to spend a whole month in France, my lodging and travel paid for, being inspired by the mere possibility of being an artist and going out there and chasing your dreams. I just always encourage people to go because you never know where it's going to lead, who you're going to meet, and how it's going to make you feel. I just really love that I get to talk about this and share resources. And if there's any videos and artist residencies that you want to see out there, let me know. That's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. I wanted to drop some benefits in here that would be really good for people. And that's it for today. Comment, like, and subscribe. Consider donating to my Patreon to support this channel. See you next time.